Hello, friends and freundins, and welcome to another episode of the Troglodyte channel. Today I decided to build this beautiful kit from Meng, which I had in my stash for about 2 years. The M4A3E2 Jumbo Sherman tank. And what a beautiful tank this is! It is very nicely designed and detailed, and relatively easy to build. The art on the box cover and the style of the assembly manual look also really nice. And although this kit contains many small finely detailed parts, the instructions are very clear and precise and contain no errors at all, if I remember correctly. I think the most complicated part to put together was the suspension of the vehicle, and especially the way the road wheels connected to their axis I found, dare I say, a little bit flimsy. I had to glue them later all together in order to keep them from falling apart. Although I have to say, the springs inside it are real and it can move. This way one can pose their tank in an even more realistic way. On the front, it was required to sand down some of the parts that were sticking out in order to glue another protective piece of armor on top of it. All in all, the assembly was simple and relatively fast, and one of the reasons I believe is that this is an American tank and not a German one, which would have consisted of 1 million tiny little pieces. The detail in this kit, like I said before, is pretty good, And also, some of the surfaces, especially the turret, have this nice realistic looking texture, so I didn't find any reason to apply a whole coat of my own texturing. But of course I added it in some places which I thought it was required. The kit also contains a few basic photo-etched parts, which look nice and add this special little extra detail. Unfortunately, it does not contain a metallic barrel, which would have been nice. The instructions indicate that I should cut the wire rope at 123 mm, which according to my calculations it is 12.3 centimeters. But this turned out to be too short for the pose indicated in the manual. I scratched off some of the plastic holders on the tools and replaced them with ones made of photo-etched pieces. Later I would also add some leather safety straps. Eventually, it was time for the most boring part of this build, yet with the most satisfying outcome: the assembly of the tracks. Each track link is consisted of 5 individual tiny pieces, plus 2 more tiny metallic pins which have to be inserted in place in order to keep each track link connected to the next one. But I have to say, the result looks really amazing, and they actually function like real tracks, which is pretty cool. After this tedious task was over, I added some significant photo-etched details on the turret and used some super glue to add a little bit more texture. Then I added some leather straps with buckles on the tools, and this is one detail that I really love. I just love putting those leather straps on. After I put the tracks in place, which went really smoothly and with no stress at all, I made a couple of shell impacts on the front of the hull. But I didn't really want to overdo it with the scars on my beautiful tank, and this is why I only made 2. I chose this gentleman to be the driver of the tank, and this guy to serve as the commander. He looks a little bit young, but I bet he's experienced. I dipped him in hot water in order to make the resin softer, and then I squeezed his legs so that they could fit through the hatch. Then I chose some accessories to put on the back of the vehicle, and I assembled a small part of tracks to put on the front. I also made a few tarps from Tamiya epoxy putty, and I applied them in random places in order to visually tie all of these objects together. But in order to literally tie these objects together, I used a piece of thin string, which the positioning looks a little bit sloppy at the moment, but it will look much better once it gets painted in the next episode. And there you have it, my friends and freundins. The assembly of this M4A3E2 Jumbo Sherman tank is complete. A straightforward, relatively simple build, but nevertheless finely detailed and overall just beautiful. I really love the way this tank looks. And I'm also very satisfied with the way my model turned out. I hope you like it too, my friends and freundins. If you do, you know what to do. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. You should also leave me a comment and tell me what you think about it. Finally, and if you haven't, you should also watch my other videos. They too deserve some appreciation. Thank you so much, friends and freundins, and I will see you soon in the next one.